G'day, how you going? Today I'm going to show you guys how you can find gold prospecting locations in Victoria. The first thing we need to do is we need to go to Google and type in GEOVIC, and you'll see up the top GEOVIC Earth Resources. Click that link. GEOVIC is Victoria's version of interactive mapping, which allows you to find out information about where old mines were, where existing leases are. This is the page which gives you a brief explanation about all the information that you can get. The one that we're interested in, down the bottom it says mines and mineral occurrences. So what we do is we scroll down and you'll see accessing GEOVIC, and you've got two versions there. You've got GEOVIC version 3, which is a registered version, so you need to be a registered user, and we have GEOVIC version 3 anonymous. We're going to click that one there. We'll see now that the application is starting and an interactive map is now loading up. So to find gold prospecting locations in Victoria, we're going to need some basic information. We've now got an outline of Victoria and just a very quick explanation of the options available to you. Up in the top left hand corner you'll see layers. You have an add layer button, a remove layer button, and across here we have themes. What we want to do is we want to hit the little drop down arrow on themes, and we have more choices. Number 14, 6 from the top, you'll see mining activity. We need to click that. We need to go back to themes, and we now need to click topographic detail. Right down the bottom, 27. What that now does is that's open those themes or those layers, and we can now search for specific information. You'll see now the map of Victoria is loading up with a lot of information. Too much information for what we need. So what we need to do now is fine tune that information for what we're looking for. So to do that, what we need to do is go over to the left hand list there and click on each one, and then click in the box with the arrow to get rid of that information. So what we want to do is we want to start with a very clean map. So we're going to turn most of that information off now. We want mines and mineral occurrences, we want towns, we want railways and roads for points of reference, so we'll keep those, and the remainder we'll turn those off for now. And you'll see now the map is now becoming a lot less crowded. So we'll keep roads because they're a great point of reference, and of course we want to keep watercourses and lakes. Now there is one other piece of information that's very, very handy that we're going to need, and that is land status. So in other words, is it Crown land or is it private land? So if we go into the green button add layers, you'll see in the middle now we have a box that's popped up, and we go down to topography and we click the little plus there, and in topography you'll see land status and boundaries. We click that, and what we really want to know is what's public land and what's not. We go up to this one here which says Crown land, and we click that, and then we go down and apply it. When we zoom in, the Crown land areas will show up as grey areas. What we'll do is we'll choose a very well known area like Bendigo, and we want to zoom into Bendigo. So to zoom in, we go up to the top toolbar. On the far left you'll see where it says zoom in. We click that, and then we highlight, simply click and drag around the word Bendigo, and you'll see now that we've zoomed into Bendigo. So if we want to center that map, we go across to the little hand there and drag that to the center. And right there in the center is Bendigo. So let's zoom in a little bit more. There we have Bendigo. So let's just uncrowd that map for a bit. And you'll see now that we have a fairly clear map. So we've got roads and watercourses, railway lines and contours, so that gives good points of reference. We have the zoom out. If you want to go back to the map as you had it, you can go to this little button here which says previous extent. Just click that and that'll go back to the original zoom level that we had. To zoom out, we click the zoom out button, and we simply just select anywhere in the map and click, and it will automatically zoom out. One other button that we really do want to know about, which says XY. Click XY, You'll notice now that we have a little coordinate display box, and you'll notice that wherever my mouse is on that map, you will now see that the coordinates are changing. This is fantastic information, and we're going to need this. Right up the top there, you'll see it has longitude and latitude. That's the one we want because that's the easiest to convert into any other format. So we'll just put that off to the side on the top right. Let's go and find a location. So I'm going to center on a well-known part of the Bendigo Goldfields, which is the whipstick. So I'm just going to pan up to the whipstick, which is just north of Bendigo there. What we can do is we can switch on historical mining activity, and you'll notice more towards the center of Bendigo City itself, a whole lot of information is now popped up. But what we're interested in is the mines and mineral occurrences. So we're going to click that, and you'll see now a whole lot of information is now popped up. And where you see these little black areas down the bottom, let's zoom into one of those. These are mines as listed by the Mines Department. Some of them may be reef, some of them may be alluvial mines. On my little coordinate display on the top right, you'll see wherever I put my mouse is a GPS reading for that mine. So all you have to do really is take a screenshot. Once you put your mouse where you want it, take a screenshot, you've now got a GPS coordinate to that location. We're going to go back to our previous extent into the whipstick, and this area up here is the whipstick. There is an incredible amount of diggings in the whipstick, and there's quite a few good maps out there today. There's a series by a fellow called John Tully, fantastic maps, and of course Doug Stone's Golden Relic maps. And each of those maps provide different detail, and I reckon it's all about cross-referencing. I have the Doug Stone maps, I have the John Tully maps, but with this tool here I can actually create my own maps, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. I'm going to zoom right down to this area here. So we've got lots of tracks, we've got contours, we've got creeks. What I really love about GEOVIC is the Victorian Mines Department has given us a lot more extra information, exactly where the old timers were digging. So to find out that information, we're now going to go up to our green button here, which is add layers. Now we've already added the mineral theme. We click on that and you'll notice up pops our little box in the center there, and we need to go and find the mineral drop down box, and there it is, minerals, fourth from the top. We click on that, and if we go all the way down to the bottom, we click this little one here called leads and working details. We simply click the box and we click apply, and watch this, and look at that. We've now got specific details showing exactly where the old timers diggings and workings were. So let's zoom right down to one of those areas, but before we zoom down, we'll go back over to the left and click Crown Land. And all the grey area that's now popped up is Crown Land, so that's public land. So what we want to do is we want to find a good location where there was a lot of old mining activity, and I always say to people, if you want to find gold, go where the old boys went. So here we are in the whipstick. Now in many instances these areas were on creek lines and in gullies. Say for instance these ones over here on private land. You'll find the old workings and alluvial leads, so these are alluvial diggings, were actually on and adjacent to existing creek systems today. But not always. Sometimes there is no creek, it's just a gully, and that's what we have over here in this area. So we'll go back to it. If we look down in the bottom right there, we have Wallace's Reef. So I can zoom in on that, and then I can place my mouse right on where Wallace's Reef is shown on the map, and of course on the top right hand side where my coordinate display is, I have an exact GPS location of that area. Now what interests me are these workings. The old timers found gold there and they knew what they were doing, so that's where I want to go, somewhere like that. Let's find out what the red and the green mean. Let's go over to legend, click legend up the top left there, and we scroll down. Here we go. So we have shallow leads, which are purple. We have shallow workings, and deep leads. So the green one over there, deep lead, we're not really interested in that. What we're interested in is we're interested in these red ones here, shallow workings. And I always say to people, number one, go where the old boys went, but always target shallow ground first, because shallow ground will always give you a good feel for what's around. Because in those parts of the world, especially around areas like Bendigo and Ballarat, the alluvial gold was so prolific that it was literally almost lying on top of the surface. The old boys, they chased the easy stuff, and in their pursuit for the easy stuff, a lot of good gold was missed simply because they didn't see it or because they were in a rush. Okay, so we already know that there's a reef nearby. Now what I love about this is you can create your own prospecting map. So the best way to do that is you take a screenshot, go to paint, paste that, and I've now produced my own prospecting map. But of course, I want a few references on that, so let's go and get some references. So I'll just leave that open. Now, if I look at this map here, and this particular point here interests me because it's a junction. So right there, I'm going to put my mouse on where that junction is. I've now got a GPS reading. So once again, I'll take a screenshot of that. I'll now go back over to my paint program. I'll open up a new paint document, and I paste the screenshot that I just took. Now, all I want over here is the GPS reading. Basically select it and cut it. Go back to my original map which I made, map 1. I can just paste it anywhere I want onto that map, and I'll just put it there. Draw a quick line so I know exactly where it's pointing to. From there to that junction. So there you have it. I've just created my very own prospecting map. So I'm going to save that map now, my prospecting map. And there it is there.